start the program with an invocation by Mr. N. Srinivasan. Please remain seated. Now I invite our Assistant Director, Dr. V. Mohan, to deliver the welcome address.
Namami Vishwakarmanam Vibhujam Vishwavandinam Grihavastu Vidhataram Mahabala Parakramam Prasida Vishwakarmastvam Shilpa Vidya Visharada Dandapani Namastubhyam Tejo Murta Dharaprabhu. The first artist, known artist to all of us from the Vedic legendary poem, Vishwakarma. Revered and respected chief guest of today's inaugural function of this 2 days national seminar on minor deities in Indian art, Manani Mahoday Professor Sri Martinendan Prasad Tiwari ji, Chairman, Indian Art History Congress and Professor Emeritus, Benares Hindu University, who is going to proceed over and deliver the keynote address as well. Special speaker invitees, Madam Professor Chudam Nandagopal ji, distinguished and learned scholars, Dr. Satyamurthy ji, Madam Dr. Sudeepa Rai Bandradbajai, Dr. R.K. Rajan, Dr. Chitra Madhavan, who are gathered here to speak on the important and specific topics, and Sri Sanjeev Kumar Singh and Dr. Paramita Das, who have sent their video recordings because of the sudden changes in their schedule, special invitees, members of Council of Management of CPRIIR RAMASWAMI Foundation, interested and enthusiastic participants, representatives from various media and channels, staff, well-wishers, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to each and every one of you. On behalf of the CPRIIR RAMASWAMI Foundation and CPRIIR Indological Research Institute, I have immense pleasure in extending a warm welcome to all of you. Since our respected Director Madam is going to elaborate and explain the theme and objective of this seminar, I will just take a couple of minutes speaking on the relevance of conducting this seminar with some interesting inputs. And before that, it is my duty, I deem it a great honor to share with you a few points with regard to our Chief Guest, Professor M.N.P. Tiwari. Official introduction will be done by Dr. Balaji very shortly. Professor has travelled from the spiritual heartland of our Bharatavarsha, the Varanasi, the holy place with lot of historical importance and milestones. Professor is a versatile and legendary art historian par excellence and a devotion and dedication personified celebrity, exerting unceasingly in imparting his expertise and wisdom in art history and its nuances to many number of his students and to the interested scholars. Sir, it is a close associate and well-wisher of our foundation and institute as well. Professor M.N.P. Tiwari and Chodamananda Gopalji played a key role and supported us in organizing the 29th session of IAHC in this very same foundation here in April 2022. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for readily accepting our request and honoring us with your gracious presence. Pray the Almighty to shower His unfailing blessings, well-being and tranquility perennially upon you, sir. And as I have mentioned earlier, I will take only a couple of minutes, not much time. Since regarding the art and art's value, many scholars are going to represent. I just did a small background of work about this, how it has started, all those things. Because our tradition, Vedokila Dharmam, that is what Veda is the root source of all the. That is what Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tasmat Sastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavastito. Sastram here refers to Vedas. So, in determining what is to be done, where from you have to refrain, Shastram you have to take. So, he says Tasmat Prakstam Pramanam. Dharma, the term Dharma itself in Sanskrit is used in different contexts. One of the conceptual meaning of Dharma itself, deity, Devata. For example, in Veda, Agni, Surya, Vayu, all defined as dharmas. And the Vedic religion, as we know, was ritualistic, optimistic, and above all, one of the best examples of naturalistic religion in this world. In Vedas, again, we can find, because since it is related to art, even an object of worship, a stone, a piece of metal like gold, a wheel, wood, or even a separated part of human body was all worshipped as devatas. Rudra says, Ayam me hasto Bhagavan, Ayam me Bhagavattaraha. So everything we treat as gods. So in this way, the term when we come. The term Deva is used in Vedas for the divine concept. Sayanacharya in his commentary of Rigveda Samhita, he says, Dhanadi Guna Yuktaha, one that is endowed with qualities of making gifts. Devo, Dhanatva, Deepanatva, Jyotanatva, Dyustama, Bhavatitiva. So, according to him, Deva is called so because he is making all these gifts to the earthly beings or being brilliant or radiant or because he belongs primarily to the heavenly sphere. Deva or what we mention or God is also called Devata. That is what Veda says. Yo Deva sa Devata iti. So, the Nasadiya Sutta of Rigveda Samhita, in fact, it says when it talks about the creation, it says, Ko adha veda kariha pravochat kuta ajata kuta yam visushtihi argat deva asya visarjanena tha ko veda yata ababuve. Meaning, but after all, who knows and who can say whence it all came, how the creation happened. The gods, even they, you can say celestial bodies, divine themselves are later than creation. So who knows truly whence it has come. So regarding the number of classification of Vedic deities, in fact I have to thank Dr. Srinivasan sir is here. He gave me some inputs. Yaskaracharya in his Nirukta, based on all his predecessors, he classifies into three. Prithvisthano va Antarikshasthano va Dyusthano va. That is, the deities he classifies either of terrestrial class of deities that dwell in the earth, or atmospheric or aerial deities, or the celestial region, or the celestial gods. I don't go into much details, I am just giving you only the inputs. So again, a large number of gods have been eulogized in the Vedas, and generally the number of gods is enumerated as 33, of which 11 are considered as terrestrial, 11 are aerial or atmospheric, and 11 are celestial also. So this goes in this way because Vedas and Devatas very much related. So the Vedic pantheon, different classification of the divinities are made, but of this triple classification done by the ancient scholars on the basis of the regions, especially minor deities, of the deities is regarded as the most authentic one. From philosophical point of view also, the matter is looked forth and observation is made that the primary deities are also the three manifestations only of the one supreme Godhead. The single supreme soul manifests itself various forms, and these forms are regarded as the individual limbs of that single soul. So moving on further with this small input, now coming to art. A very famous and simple definition for art I have come across. In quote, an activity in which the aesthetic function develops into a firm tradition as a way of expression, which is known as arts. I have taken this quotation none other from the Indian sculpture, a living tradition from Chudamani Nandagopati. So moving further, friends, let us explore and enjoy the facts and richness of the artistic representation of various minor deities in this 2-day seminar. As Veda proclaims, Ano Badraha Katavayantu Visvataha, the noble thoughts come to us from all directions. I once again welcome all of you to this enlightening and illuminating academic day. Thank you. And before I conclude, it is a small request from me, especially because many young scholars are here who want to present the papers. See, all the senior scholars, especially the art history, is a very rare subject. So our director madam, she has all the thinking. So we are doing all important and what we call the very different subjects. All other academic activities you can take part anywhere. But these art historians, they have come here to share their what we call the very much rich experience and wisdom. So be please present here for all the papers, not only your presentation of papers, so that you can come and interaction with others also. You can learn a lot. Life is a learning process. So with these few words, I welcome you all once again, and thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our director, Dr. Nanta Krishna, to honor the chief guest, Professor Maruti Nandan Tiwari. Chief guest Professor Maruti Nandan Tiwari will now inaugurate the seminar by lighting the Kuttuvilakku. Thank all the dignitaries.
Tiwari and very respected scholars who are with us today. As you know, the C.P. RAMASWAMI IYAR Institute of Indological Research organizes one major seminar every year where we try to bring in national scholars. Why? Because it is important that all of us know the kind of academic work and research that is going on all over India, and that we do not think, that we are the beginning and end of all academic knowledge, which unfortunately happens very often. So today I am very happy that we have with us several eminent scholars, and I will tell you about them and what they are going to say. Why did we choose this subject? For many years, CPRIIR Environmental Education Center, our sister organization, has been documenting the ecological traditions of India and has completed documenting the traditions of 15 states. These traditions, these documented traditions have been published, and you can see them in the book center Shakuntala Art Gallery. Interestingly, many of these traditions are associated with deities who are not commonly seen or known, with their own mythology and their own iconography. Over time, some have been identified with one or another god or goddesses, and they have been absorbed into the entire Vedic pantheon, although they may not have appeared in the Vedas. Indian art and culture have been profoundly influenced by a multitude of deities, each with his or her own unique attributes, symbolism and significance. While major deities like Shiva, Vishnu, Devi and their various forms have received extensive attention in both art and scholarship. Even my own PhD was on the iconography of Vishnu Narayana. There exists a rich tradition of minor deities who play vital roles in Indian religious and artistic traditions. These minor deities, often associated with specific regions, communities and narratives, have their own captivating stories and iconographic representations. Recognizing the need to shed light on these lesser explored aspects of Indian culture and to augment our documentation of India's ecological traditions, which are intricately connected with minor deities, we have organized this seminar. In the ancient world, beginning with the Vedas, as Dr. Mohan pointed out, natural powers were conceived as deities and venerated. Indra was the rain, Surya was the sun, and so on. The examination of archaic sources, Sumati, please. The examination of archaic sources and archaeological remains has unveiled compelling evidence of reverence for nature, manifesting through trees, animals, and sacred symbols. Their minor deities encompass a wide spectrum of beings, including local deities, demigods, guardian spirits, and divine attendants. They represent the plurality and syncretism of Indian religious tradition. They are characterized by unique iconographic features and symbolism. For those of you who may have visited Mundakanni Amman temple in Mylapore, you will find a very unusual deity. She's just a block of stone on which somebody has put a silver face and a pair of hands, and that's it. But she was obviously a local deity, and now she's such a popular deity. So they are characterized by unique iconographic features and symbolism, and their depiction in sculpture, painting, and other artistic forms reveal intricate details of specific attributes and narratives. They serve as a visual language which conveys the deity's role in the lives of people, in social life, in economic life, the deity's personality, and the deity's significance. Some of these minor deities include Ashtadikpalas, Navagrahas, the 12 Aditya, and lesser known forms of main gods such as Shasta, forms of Devi and the avatars of Vishnu, demigods of Buddhism and Jainism, and so on. Many major deities today were once minor local gods and goddesses, and these have been absorbed into the wide spectrum of Hinduism. The minor deities could be deities of fertility, protection, heroes and heroines who have been deified, and of course natural figures like snakes, toads, and so on. They have even changed and evolved over time. For example, we all know Mariamman. Sir, Mariamman is the goddess you are going to speak on, Shitala, the Tamil variation. But the word Mari means rain. And not many people realize that she became, rain was regarded as Muthu Mari, or pearl-like raindrops. Unfortunately, the pearl-like raindrops were associated with the boils which appeared on the body during smallpox. And so Mariamman, who was a goddess of fertility, became a dreaded goddess of death and disease, a goddess of smallpox. Similarly, say Ponniamman, who is a rice goddess. She has a unique iconography, and in different places it's the same, because in all the temples she is only a head and her body is the earth, because Ponni is a variety of rice that is grown in this region. So she is a rice goddess. Interestingly, Isaki Amman was originally a Jaina Yakshi, and now she is a goddess of epidemics. She carries a child. The original idea was that the Yakshi was a protector of the children, but now she is a goddess of epidemics, propitiated with blood sacrifices. It is quite difficult to imagine for a Jain goddess. And her icon is in fact on the invitation to the seminar also. This is Isaki Amman. And of course we all know AIYAR, the famous guardian, who appears as early as the 3rd century. Some deities are frightening spirits like Muniyandi, Periyachi, and so on. I could go on about the minor deities in Tamil Nadu, but we are looking forward to hearing what the speakers at the seminar will tell us. We are giving all the speakers a book on the groves and gods of Tamil Nadu, a speech that I made a few years ago at ICHR Bangalore, and which is the same idea of minor deities in Tamil Nadu. What is interesting is that even though they are not very significant, they have such a definite iconography. For example, what I mentioned about Ponniamman, I saw in my mother's village near Kanchipuram, and then I saw again in my father's village, which was far away near Vellore. So it is the same iconography that is in different, and I've seen the same Ponniamman, just a head on the ground. Many of our major deities were once minor deities. Kamakshi of Kanchi, for example, was once Pidari, a goddess who protected against cholera. She was adopted by the Shaktas and became Adi Pida Parameshwari Kali Kambal, an aspect of Kali. But that was not all. Adi Shankara came there and decided that he did not want Kali Kambal with blood sacrifices and so on. So he probably persuaded Rajasimha Pallava to build a temple for Kamakshi. And now, whereas this Kali Kambal holds an Ankusha Pasha and a Kapala, and actually holds a head in her hand, Kamakshi of Kamakoti Peetam holds a bunch of flowers on which sits a parrot. A Pasha and Ankusha are still there, but she also has a sugarcane stem. So she has undergone subtle changes and continues subtle paths. Similarly, you have Madurai Meenakshi. Meenakshi was once the god of the fisher folk along the east coast. And when we were doing the collection of ecological traditions in Tamil Nadu, we came across several Meenakshi Amman temples along the east coast. But this temple, which we have in Madurai, was the capital of the Pandyas. And as you know, historically, Madurai, the original Madurai, was destroyed by the sea. So the Pandyas moved their capital inland. And now Madurai Meenakshi has such a beautiful, huge temple, one of the largest in the world. Similarly, you have Samayapuram Mariamman, Thiruverkadu Karumariamman, and other minor deities who have been upgraded, as I would call it, over time. Kali Kammal of Madras in Georgetown was and still is a very minor deity. But do you know that in the 17th century, in 1677, she was so famous that Chhatrapati Shivaji came all the way just to visit this temple. So for the next 2 days, we have a galaxy of speakers. And heading the list are senior scholars and professors who have kindly agreed to come all the way to Chennai to share their knowledge with us. I'd like to mention them. Professor Tiwari, of course, who is going to speak on minor deities and pacifying goddess of diseases, Shitala, in Indian tradition and art. Dr. Chudamani Nandagopal on the significant dynamism of minor deities in the regions of Karnataka. Dr. Satyamurthy on minor deities in Kerala art. He has been in Kerala for a long time as a part of the Archaeological Survey of India. Dr. Shudipa Ray Bandopadhyay on the iconography of Jvara. Dr. Chitra Madhavan on Satyaki, a lesser known deity whose existence we have forgotten, although we all go to the triplicate Parthasarthi temple. We were talking last week and she suddenly mentioned Satyaki and I said, oh yes, afterwards I was thinking, we barely noticed the poor man who's over there. And Dr. Rajarajan from Gandhi Gram will speak on rare forms of Ganapati with reference to notes in Tamil Bhakti literature. 3 of our speakers who were to come unfortunately had problems. Shri Sanjeev Kumar Singh, who is now the director of Shri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust, Ayodhya, was to come. Unfortunately, SpiceJet cancelled the flight, so he could not make it. But we will be relaying the recording of his speech, Bhudevi, some representative images in the National Museum collection. And the other is Dr. Paromita Das, who, although she accepted it, had to go away to Dubai. But we have recorded her speech on Dharma, a minor deity in eastern India. So, unfortunately, the other person, Dr. Kiran Krant Chaudhary, fell ill suddenly yesterday, and I think he's been hospitalized and he will not be able to be with us. So, and he didn't even have time or the health to record a speech. In any case, I am looking forward to the next 2 days to learning, because that is what these seminars do, really help us to learn about so many more subjects. I see a lot of our young students and students from elsewhere, and I think some more are coming at 12 o'clock, and it will be a fascinating experience for all of us, all of you in particular, and I thank all of you for being with us these 2 days. Thank you.